Okay,
And we're live.
call to order then. So, agenda approval, we have a motion to.
Isn't there a typo in the date on the top?
On the date,
What's
March
it say?
12th?
Yep,
Oh, this is
March.
April.
it
Yeah.
is. And
Oh,
then the other error,
Mine says,
Mine says
no,
March 12th.
it's the minutes.
well, the agenda.
It says April
The
9th.
agenda says
Does
April
it?
9th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I changed it after
Sorry.
you sent
Was
it.
looking
Really,
at the wrong
my
one.
copy said March still, so
Sorry, I thought I CC'd that back to
you probably did, but I just pulled it off the file.
Okay.
And then there's
Okay.
one other error in there, the February, does it say March? Under.
Oh, I actually
agenda
noticed that
approval.
too.
Minutes of approval for.
No, that's corrected
That's
too.
correct.
Teresa
Yeah.
got that too, so
Yeah.
you're good.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I was trying to poke holes and I
I didn't see.
normally didn't, but I don't. I'm sure kind of, so.
Okay, move to approve the agenda.
I'll move.
And I'll second that. Unless you have anything else to say, Stu.
No, I'm good.
And I'll move for the minutes.
Okay, any comments on the minutes?
I didn't have any comments, so you guys need some time, so.
Very detailed. Stu did a great job.
Well, I only wrote blanks and then Teresa filled it.
No, yeah,
Teamwork makes the
you
dream work.
did most of it.
I'll second the approval for the minutes.
Okay. Public comments? Anybody want?
That should be
Old
our-
business. The Oregon Arbor Month poster contest.
Okay, so the posters are up in the
Sorry, Dave,
library.
bad you.
What's that? Oh, that's all right, that's no big deal.
You wanna pull the blinds?
Oh,
You good?
yeah. Burn your eyes out.
What?
More, yeah, more. I'm gonna fall asleep.
You want some sunscreen?
Yeah. I'll take a nap here.
Yeah, so the posters are all up in the library. They look really good. We had Leah got a chance to come in and judge, and then Stu and Michaela and Chris and myself. So yeah,
Staff
Oh,
evaluation.
so, oh, good.
yeah. So we had enough bodies to do that. I sent out the notice to the teachers for name checks, and so I need to get a hold of Jen so that she can come in and sign the certificate. So I need to make a note of that actually.
And I'll make it down there at some point. All the posters were good. We proofed them this year and they're good.
They're good.
Yeah,
Any appropriate comments
awesome.
from the hospital's CEO's kid?
However, very funny.
Very funny.
Kind of a treat.
Well, it was like me.
I was like, what the heck?
I don't have young kids anymore. I don't know that new stuff.
Yeah, it was classic.
So, so now I'm just working, as far as the poster contest goes, I'm just working on, the teachers have been notified, send me back any spelling corrections, because sometimes it's hard to read those kids' handwriting. And now I'm just working on putting the prize stuff together. And then of course we'll do the awards announcements at the field day.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was a good
Lot of
turnout, a lot of
posters, yeah.
posters. Yeah.
Must have missed the meeting where we went over the theme.
Oh, trees are for the birds. Oh, here.
So one poster came in like this, and we're like, oh, throw that one down.
I made copies for
Oh,
the
the
city
big ones.
council meeting of the winning posters, so if you
Oh,
wanna
yeah.
look at the winning posters, that's that.
Oh, we already voted and got
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
yes, and
That
we
was
had
the
to do
thing.
that
You were
spring
gone or
break.
something.
I was
Yeah.
out of town.
It was like spring
Yeah.
Everybody was gone,
It,
yeah.
and I'm sorry it's over spring break, but
It's
that's,
fine.
that's
I
what.
think you guys were out of town or something.
Yeah,
I totally missed the email.
oh,
Probably. I've been so inundated with work today.
yeah, it's no big deal. We, it was fun, I put those up on the, at the council chambers, so it was fun. Yeah, so.
I just have to say, I was with my grandbaby.
Yay! And what's your
Excuses is what I
grandbaby's
hear.
name?
Coraline.
Oh,
I managed to get there 10 minutes after she was born.
It's pretty good.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Alright, that's all I have for poster contests, so field day, that's the biggie. That's the one that's coming up on April 26th.
Is that 9 to 2?
Well, it's actually, I had to bump it out a
Just went 9
little.
to 2 in my calendar, and I'm like, what is that for?
Yeah,
I
that's,
don't think I put it on my calendar yet.
Nope, not too far. I have to leave
This
town
is-
and get to the coast.
so
that
this is
day.
kind of this is the preliminary schedule, so
Oh, wow.
yeah, so 9:20, we're gonna start and hopefully wrap up by 1:55. Last year it was
Okay.
10, and the teachers were willing to bump it out a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit.
Approximately 9 to 2.
Approximately 9 to 2, yeah. And so, our stations are gonna be the native plantings on the greenway. The three classes are gonna go do that as a group like we did last year. And then the other 3 classes will rotate through bird ecology, the bird building station, and the bird watch. I had, initially, we had talked about them doing the bird watching walk down the greenway, but it just, logistically, it was not gonna happen
Yeah.
with the limited number of binoculars that I
Yeah.
have. So they'll do that around the park. But what I'm hoping is, well, I've gotta get with you, Leah, on the birdhouses, so we'll get together on that. And what my thoughts were for the bird building station, we'd have one table where kids could help put together birdhouses, and then another table, because there's not enough birdhouses for everybody, another table with pine cones and peanut butter and birdseed. They could make their own little bird feeders to take home. And so I'm hoping that you guys, I don't know how many of you are able to attend on the 26th. I kind of penciled Leah and Tony and Jen in for that bird building station,
Oh,
depending on who
okay.
can be there. And then Robert, I don't know if you can be there. I put you on planting again,
That's
if you can be there.
A lot smaller holes this time.
Yeah.
They're mostly native.
Yeah, well, they'll be about the same, but I'm gonna hopefully be in better soil. So that's the goal. Then I need to get with Steve, because he and hopefully 1 or 2 other people from Friends of Lad Marsh will show the kids how to use the binoculars, look for some birds, and they'll be kind of just doing a little walk around the park. And then the 3rd station is the bird ecology station, and that's where the gals from Forest Service and Fish and Wildlife will be doing that station. And then Stu is in charge of tractor ride, so they'll walk to the tree planting, plant their trees, get to do a little tractor ride back. And then they'll come over the bridge, and because we have to stagger the tractor ride, because only one class can fit on the wagon at a time, they'll come over, they'll have a snack, Chris will entertain them while Stu's shuttling. So that's the gist.
It's just to save time of them walking back because they're gonna be wilted already from all
Yeah.
the hard work you put them through.
So we'll start off with just a quick welcome and introductions, and then Stu will explain the stations. We'll do the rotates. Yeah.
And new this year, all the classes will be there instead of half
All
the
12
second
classes
class.
are signed up to be there, so
At the same time.
no. Central 6 classes in the morning, and then in the afternoon 4 Island City and 2 Greenwood. So 6 and 6.
Last year, half the central didn't show up. Fourth was-
So-
The 5th graders didn't make it, yeah. So we'll have one session in the morning, repeated in the afternoon. Excuse me,
So that means there's gonna be 2 classes per thing?
2 classes.
2 grades.
2 groups.
Or 2 groups of.
So
2 groups
each,
of kids.
so all 3 classes are gonna, all 3 of the 4th grade classes will go over and plant trees together. The other 3 classes will be going through the stations. So these will be individual classes.
So how long are they at?
20 minutes. 20 minutes, and then they'll switch. The kids that did the stations will then switch with the kids that did the planting. So, and that's what we did last year too. So it's kind of a big group of kids coming over to plant, but there's a lot of space. So
Colorful posters this year.
yeah, aren't they? Had some really nice.
Yeah.
Um,
This morning.
But anyway, so if you guys have any comments or suggestions or see any red flags, Stu suggested that because the kids are going to be coming back on the tractor ride and they're going to be staggered, he suggested to have, because I thought they'd come back and have a snack, and then he also thought it would be a good idea for them to have some kind of little activity. So Chris, our recreation coordinator, is going to hand out snacks and do a little game with them.
Yeah, 25 minutes is too long for them to sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll sell for sure.
So the last class coming through is gonna have to hustle, because they'll get there, they'll
Oh,
get the
right.
snack, and they gotta go. But they get the time on the other end.
Yeah.
They get
right.
more time to plant trees,
Yeah.
so it,
So they're all, 3 classes are on the greenway at the same time?
yep,
Right.
yep,
Yeah, it's fine.
yep. It's craziness.
Luckily, the teachers are great with
Yeah,
helping,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, if you guys can, check your calendars and see if you're available to
Yeah.
help with that day, that'd be great.
I definitely am. We're leaving town though, so 2 o'clock's tight.
Gotta go.
So yeah, and if that's the case, I mean, you could jet, you don't have
I
to
mean, it's
stay.
not terrible. I mean,
So they're rotating through the bird
it's not terrible.
feeder.
Well, that's up to you, cause
I mean, because it's what, about 20 or 30 minutes after. That's why you've got 1:40 as a time. So by around 2-ish, they're going back to class.
yes,
So 150 is
Well-
when the planting ends.
Yeah, so that's fine. And then I can still participate in the awards. And
okay,
whatever.
cool.
That's cool.
We'll
Alright.
do. Okay.
What's the
Yeah.
bird
The awards are
ecology?
like till 2.
That's where
2:05,
the
2:10.
gals from the Fish and Wildlife, and they're gonna come and talk about birds, and supposed to be bringing some like nests and eggs,
Yeah.
and hopefully some fun show and tell type stuff.
And the bird building is the bird
That's the
boxes.
bird houses, and yeah, and if you've got catchier titles for these stations, I'm completely open to
You're
that.
gonna bring some owl.
Pellets?
You know, I thought
pellets.
about that,
That'd be
but
cool.
I think we're gonna focus on the bird building
Yeah.
and not the owl pellets.
Boxes.
Yeah, the boxes and the pine cones. Yeah, so if you, like I said, if you got a better title for that,
So how many bird houses per?
Well, that's what, yeah, I don't know.
go
if
ahead.
you wanna talk about,
Yeah,
get into all that. So we have about 24. I haven't heard back from John Winters about what,
John Winters,
Yeah.
that's how I was trying to remember his
so
name.
he's got these ones that, I don't know where it got them. Boise donated the stuff, I think. But, so if there's 12 classes,
Yeah, they could build 2
but we
bird
could have
houses.
more. He said there's a little bit more material, and I'm sure we could get more material to make,
So it's the
make more.
kids.
Right.
Yeah, and they would be something that we say, oh yeah, you can help us build birdhouses, and then we'll put them up in the parks. You know, it wouldn't be something that they would take home. That's what the little pine cones would be
We have 2 per
So I wondered,
class
at this
and
point.
25 kids. And they're
Well,
all gonna.
So that's why I was thinking we'd have
Right.
2 tables.
right,
Some of them will be doing birdhouse
Right.
building, some of them will be doing pine cones. So
Right.
you can kind of cut that at least in
But
half.
how do we tell them you
We
can't
could-
build a birdhouse?
we could do
Welcome,
this.
welcome to my world.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we
One
just do.
tree.
Teachers
Just
three
do,
classes.
yeah.
Just have the teachers do it. Like, okay,
Yeah.
teachers, we need
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
7 builders.
And we could do,
20
maybe we
whatever.
could do 4 per class,
Yeah, that's entirely whatever, what, we can get. The other thing I need to know is,
Well, and the classes are pretty variable in size, aren't they?
yeah, they
Based
do.
on those posters.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
that's
lot
not-
more kids come than did posters,
Yeah.
cause some classes, not all the kids do them.
Right.
But you can say probably a minimum of 20 and up to 25, 26 per class. But the other thing I need to know is how they go together. Do I
Right,
need
I
to
know.
get screws,
Yeah,
screwdrivers?
Yeah, so
all
I
that
asked him
stuff?
to bring me the stuff. And,
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
So great. Well, so that.
The other part of it, we were talking about maybe we could paint them, So maybe there could be, I don't know.
Builders
The ones
Yeah,
that
builders
put it
and painters
together,
or
and then they
something.
switch to pine cones and the
I
20
don't-
minutes isn't that long.
It's
Right,
not
right.
that long. You
Yeah.
know, what I'm hoping is that there's some kids who are like, oh yeah, I want to build a birdhouse.
Right,
And
that's
others
what
are
I
like,
think.
oh, I'd rather do a pine
Yeah, and they'd rather take it home versus,
So-
right, I think there will be some
Yeah.
of
That'd
that.
be a big difference there.
Yeah.
Ziplocs, or how are you getting those on a bus?
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna have Ziploc bags and a marker, and they're gonna put their name on the bag, and put the pine cones back in the box. Yeah, and
Teachers
there'll
would
be
happy.
baby wipes, there'll be garbage
Right.
cans, there'll be, yeah, I got a whole
Yeah.
list of supplies. Unless you guys got better ideas, so I'm open to anything. But I think this will be fun. The kids really enjoyed the bird presentation. They were
Oh,
really
yeah,
into
I
it.
bet.
They liked it. So I think it'll be good. And I know 20 minutes is not a lot of time, but it's
Right,
just,
well, you can't, yeah,
it's-
with
yeah.
all those kids,
You
you
know, the
can't
other thing
do.
you could get, you know, we have that track trails up in Morgan Lake, there's a bird brochure.
I have them already.
Did you have some?
Yeah, I grabbed a whole
Yeah,
thing of it. I thought
Yeah.
they could take those home too.
why don't, well, they're, maybe,
Oh, you don't want them to take them home?
well, they're expensive and
Oh,
they're really
okay.
from Morgan Lake.
They'll just throw them.
So,
Good point. What do you want to do with them?
well, I think, you know, bird ecology or whatever, like, hey, let's look, and they could show and tell it.
Perfect.
You know, be like, hey, here's some, cause there's some graphics in there, and it's really kid oriented.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah,
Well, and they could even just tell them, hey, you can go up to Morgan Lake.
sure,
And
you get your own.
actually, even you could even do that in the birdwalk one too. You know,
sure.
Steve
Mhm.
wanted
Yeah.
to incorporate that.
And they could, I mean, you could take a few, but I don't wanna.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a good point because, like Tony said, most of them will just.
Yeah,
But if they want like one to the teacher or something.
yeah, they're very specific to that track trail thing too, so it's not gonna make any sense if they're,
Mm-hmm.
even though the birds can be found.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to know what the birdhouse is like. You know, we do birdhouses with the kids in camp, and
Mhm.
it takes way longer than 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Right. Well, that's why it's gonna be like, okay, you get to screw
Right.
this screw in.
Yeah.
Go.
Rotate.
Yeah. So, but like you said, if we had, you know, one or two already completed, and some little kid just wanted to paint them, we could do
Right.
that too. But yeah, I'll get with you on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'll let you know when he brings them over.
Okay. I don't think anything else you can think about for field day. Okay.
Spring tree planting.
Yeah.
May the fourth be with you.
Yeah, I did get a post out on Facebook, not the one you did. I'm going to do that one a little bit later, but I put one out today that with my shovel, Skywalker shovel.
Let's look.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully we'll get some interest, some more volunteers show up to help out with that. For trees,
So can kids have you sign off on community service?
yes, absolutely.
It's pretty
That's what
good.
I thought.
I always send it
Is that
to.
Teresa too?
Yeah.
Is she in her?
I always send
Her
it
outfit?
to the juvenile court in case they got kids that need to do community service. So yeah,
What about adults? That need
Sure.
Community service.
yep, absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
There was one love who loved it.
Okay,
Monica,
yeah.
of course.
Especially, the trick is we have to have enough people who can drive themselves. So that's where it gets tricky, is if you've got a lot of younger kids that can't drive themselves because we're limited on who they can ride with.
right.
But yeah, be sure, go ahead and start spreading the word. Stu was gonna let the Boy Scouts know. I'm gonna send it out on our email group list. I tried to figure out if there was a better way, because I know not a lot of younger people don't use email, but the thought of trying to text
Oh,
people was overwhelming to me, and so I didn't do anything with that. And
However, our website can do that. We just have to get it set up. So in the future, maybe by fall, we can have those people over there help you do that.
okay, text blast?
Yep. Cause you can tell it to text or email, as long as you have a list. And you
So I just need to
pretty
get with Michaela.
And you pretty much have a list of people with their phone numbers already,
Mhm.
just gotta plug them in.
Okay,
They'll just have a UF list and then
okay. But think that's not time to make that happen before
maybe
this
you could
time.
ask, I don't know,
Maybe, okay,
might be a lot of inputting.
yeah, okay, well, for future reference, then we'll do that. Okay,
No new business.
no, I am so busy with what we're doing
Yeah.
right now, I can't even think of anything else.
Sounds good.
So anyway, spring planting will be May the 4th, at our standard 9 to noon. I'll probably reach out for help for tree delivery on May 3rd, if anybody's open that day. So if you guys can check your calendars and let me know if you're available for either day. We can plug you in on that. I know Leah said you're gonna be gone, yeah.
You're not gonna be on the floor?
11:30.
You need
Yeah.
somebody to drive or just help lift trees?
Just help lift trees, because it's, you want two people, at least I want two people.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll have to play this by ear because we, you know, as the weather continues to change, we may decide that bumping this into May is just too late, and next year we may need to look at bringing it before Arbor Day,
Yeah.
so just something to keep in mind. It didn't work for me this year because of OSET, so that may be a problem next year too. But anyway, we'll
This
see.
is what grandkids get you, see trees. They screw it all up.
Okay, I think that's, oh, and right now I'm up to about, I don't know, so far people signed up for trees. Not all necessarily going in on May 4th, but I'm at about 40 trees. So some of them will go in on May 4th, not all of them.
So now we're gonna do the
Staff report?
staff report. I looked at your report.
Oh yeah, the first one I sent out, I got ahead of myself. I had put the part about the city council meeting in there, and that was in April, so I took that back out. Let's see, yeah, mostly just been working on Arbor Day poster contest and field day stuff. Oh, I did want to mention that I met with Tony Diacidi.
Oh yeah.
She's the new groundskeeper at EOU, and she was very interested in collaborating both on getting trees, planting trees, Arbor Day stuff. So I'm hoping maybe going forward we can,
Young and energetic.
yes, young
Nice.
and energetic. Well, certainly younger and more energetic than I am. So hopefully we can see how that pans out.
Collaboration in what way?
So, because we don't have a local nursery anymore, you know, they would, piggyback with us on tree orders, you know, so, we have a better chance of getting a good order in, putting in for trucks. And do you want that shut on your side, Steve? And then also planting trees at the campus. So, and then hopefully, and we talked a lot about them keeping their Tree Campus USA certification alive. And so if they needed to partner with us on Arbor Day, you know, for that component, that would be a possibility.
Are they?
And she's just getting started, so they're not doing anything.
For
Arbor Day.
I think Dave, because she took Dave Yoder's place, and I believe Dave had already got everything turned in for 2023. So she'll just be working on it for 2024. And I gave her the contacts of the folks that I knew originally sat on the Tree Campus USA board. That was Brian Kelly and Corey Miller and one other person that I'm not remembering. So hopefully they can give her some, you know, help. And I told her, you know, I'd be happy to help too. let's see. Oh, I just wanted to put a plug in for our Urban and Community Forestry Conference, which is gonna be June 27th. We're moving to Eugene this year. It's always been at the World Forestry Center. And so we'll see what happens with this shift. It's an excellent venue, and I think it'll be nice to, move it around the state a little bit. I'm really excited about our conference theme. It's more housing, more trees, giving Oregonians both. And we've got some pretty good speakers lined up, so.
Yeah, with the change to allow 2 houses per lot.
Yep, and so there'll be a lot of discussion about how to make both of those things happen.
Cool.
Yep, so,
Could
cause
there
our
be
key,
more trees?
what's that?
If they're breaking up the lots, are they gonna have to put trees on both lots now?
It depends on how the requirements are written
Not
and
right now.
the way that,
Ours is
yeah,
based on frontage, so.
and see, that's it. If you really need to look at setbacks and, so, it's gonna be interesting to see how it pans out. Let's see, I think that's about it for
So-
staff report.
I was wondering about I don't remember from your last staff report. 46 street trees removed so far this year?
Fiscal year, from
Okay.
July 1.
Because it says year to date, so I wasn't really sure.
Yeah, that's from July 1.
Okay.
Cause I have to do it by our fiscal year because that's what the city manager said. Even though I have to go and
Right.
fiddle with it for the Tree City USA stuff.
Is that more than normal?
Not a ton more than normal. Yeah. For last year, for 2023, we removed 63 trees for the entire year. That was a little higher than it's been in the past. So yeah, we're about on track.
So, I'm trying to find the address real quick, I can't remember it. So, over by, I think it's on Y. There's a house about Y and Birch, where they had paved the green space in between the walkway and
That's the
The
one
street.
that Steve was emailed me
Right,
about,
right.
and I emailed Danny, and I never got any. Thank you for reminding me that because I never heard anything back from Danny on that.
yeah, I noticed that and I was like, wait, I thought we changed
Yeah,
the
because
ordinance on
I sent an email to both Kyle, because Steve had contacted Kyle, and so I sent an email to Kyle with our requirement that's got how much of the right of way you can pave, and then Kyle just told Danny to go deal with it, and I never did hear anything back.
that. So essentially, I think the driveway's on the left side of the lot, and then for the whole rest of the lot, all the way to the next lot, they took out the green space and just poured concrete.
Okay. See, so that is a violation of the ordinance.
Mhm.
So I need to get with Kyle. If they didn't follow up with that, then that's on them. Stu, any suggestions?
Should run out of steam, and then I'll step in.
Okay.
So I have a question, so the street people are looking at putting in sidewalks between Central and Sixth, I think.
Mhm.
So is that gonna affect the trees?
I don't know. I'll have to get up in there and see. I know so far,
Where did you hear that? What is that about?
is that the Safe Routes to Schools thing?
'Cause I'm not sure that's factual. What, did you, was it
Ron Sands is on the committee.
the Pittsmack, the parking, traffic safety, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah? Yeah, so a group of community members came to city council with a concern,
Yeah.
and then they were told, oh, go to the commission and ask them. And I haven't heard, so I don't know more about it, because that's the last I heard that, do you want streets or sidewalks, kind of with the money, you know what I mean, like,
Well, they're meeting tonight, so,
Yeah, it wasn't a plan. I
So
thought,
that-
yeah.
so that's,
yeah, he was
so it's
just
not necessarily
looking at where they were
planned,
needed,
right?
yeah.
Okay, the way you presented it was different than that, so I was just
Okay,
making sure,
sorry.
okay.
Well, if they do this, will it affect the trees?
It kind of depends.
Right.
They're big right of ways up there.
Mhm.
And so I know some of the sidewalks that they put in, at least through the 6 routes to schools, were curbside, which would be ideal.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see what the,
Yeah, I think that's a long-term discussion
Yeah.
with the funding and priorities. It's gonna be a tough one for them to hash out, cause you have some parents that are really concerned, but
Yeah.
a lot of those routes, there's a sidewalk on the other side of the street. And they're like, well, we don't wanna cross the street. It's kind of been the city council presentations, and some of the confusion is, well, where do you want your money? You want it on the streets or you want it on the sidewalks? You know, that's a choice we have to make as public, as the public. Do you wanna spend money on whistle-free trains or not? Like, do you wanna spend money, then where does that money get taken from? Whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing over and over again, so it's all good, that would be a good discussion.
yeah, well, I mean, and that fits in with your concern about 16th Street.
Yeah,
Or even just going to Riverside Park.
Right.
and what's it, that off of 16th, there's that weird store, it's not a cul-de-sac, it's like packed in neighborhood with lots and lots of little, tiny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Those double, yeah. Jacob, is that the one you're
Jacob,
talking
then
about?
they have
Yeah.
it chained at one
Are you
end.
talking about the townhomes or the row houses, they call them, the really thin garage up front,
On Jacob,
Yeah, I think
long
so.
houses that go back, so
between
they
16th
lot
and
sizes.
18th.
Yeah,
Yeah, it goes through.
They're
but
almost
it
like
feels a dead
duplexes.
end, like it's tiny.
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's like a private road maybe.
But I
Yeah,
don't think
it's
it,
a private
Jacob
road.
is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
A lot of
private.
those are private. And they're talking about another private one over there.
That was a contractor on that,
Wasn't that Chach's?
Probably.
Yeah.
He makes all those
It
paper
was
cardboard
Chachi.
houses.
Yeah, he worked Steve, that is Steve tonight. He rivaled Steve if he was here.
Anyway, we're live.
Forgot about that.
But, so all those private roads, there's no, it's just private.
There's no right of way.
Right,
It's the
there's
same
no
as
right
the
of way.
home, right.
Yeah.
As far as I
But
understand.
the ordinance that they updated that requires tree planting on every house has to have a tree would address that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, that's good, because Dave's gonna come back and ask me. Because they're meeting on that tonight.
okay. Yeah, I don't know how that'll all shake out with the placing of the sidewalks and the street improvement.
Mm-hmm.
It's needed. Sidewalks are terrible right there.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't have anything else on my report, I don't think.
I don't have anything either.
Anything?
Pending business.
I mean, did I share about the
We don't talk about
the train right away at the Island Avenue? Did we ever talk about that?
No.
That I reached out. So I got a hold of the railroad who owns the property that the trees are planted on between Island Avenue and railroad tracks. So we lease that property from them.
Oh, the Idaho Northern,
Yeah.
those guys, yeah.
Yeah, so I got a hold of the representative there to get permission about starting to fill in the ditch over by your
Right.
office between the freeway and Miller's turnoff, right? Well, city limits line.
Right.
So anyway, he gave me some helpful information that we shared, and basically, we just have to let him know when we're there. We already have an agreement in place. The lease already covers that area, so that was nice. Because oh geez, I'm gonna have to redo this thing.
Yeah.
Pay another fee, but it's already in the map of the original from 1990 or something.
I can't believe we have to pay a fee for taking care of their land.
It's $500 for 20 years.
Oh, good.
It's not much.
It does
Not
seem
per
kind
year.
of silly.
No, that's-
But, well, that's nice. I appreciate you following up with
Yeah,
that
that's
too.
good.
So I'll change the
And we don't talk about pending, right?
No, that's just a
That's just a
placeholder on there
to
to know
remind
that
you.
it's gonna be coming up, and we gotta keep it in the back of our minds.
Any tree care this month?
Oh, something popped into my head that I was gonna
Oh, that's
share.
why she had that.
Oh,
No,
that was for me.
yeah, but that's what we and I were talking.
Pruning questions.
Shoot. I should have written it down. See, that's what happens when I don't write things down.
You got too many things going on.
It's not coming to me.
I'm pruning my tree right now.
Good.
Okay. Yes, well, yeah, if you get right on it.
Or right on
I'm like, what? It is? I thought they were all budding out. Like, you're not supposed
Yeah.
It's better than waiting, though. You know. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
You get it
Better than
now.
not doing it.
Yeah.
to. Get it now. It is light. They do any heavy
Nice.
codominant stuff and
Nice.
just a couple
Yeah,
of
that's what I was talking
some dead
about.
stuff,
Yeah.
some low lying stuff, some crossing stuff.
Yep.
Just little things.
Yep. That's the main thing. And
Nice.
yeah, I
Means it's
know.
growing.
to. Just top them while you're at it.
That's in a couple of years. No, I've got actually, I am a have to, well, not have to, but I've got codominant leaders that are gonna start causing an issue at the top. But I'm gonna get the bottom to get it up higher, or get the sides to get it up higher, and then I'm gonna attack the top, so it'll then come out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, the sooner you can get rid of the codominants, the better,
yeah.
because it just only gets worse.
That's something I wanted to ask you. So, if you don't prune, does it kind of enable, tend to make the tree not want to grow as tall? Is it going to just kind of do this more? And if you cut off those,
Usually the thing that affects top growth is if you cut out that central leader. So because that changes the way the
right,
toxins and the hormones
right,
send out. So as long as you're leaving one central leader and it has all those auxins and hormones that are telling it to grow up, it generally doesn't change that rate of growth. As far as I know,
yeah, 'cause it
if
seems like with
anything,
those
if you took the
deciduous-
codominant out, you would be redirecting any energy that went to that codominant to the one that's left, so you could potentially have faster growth.
right, maybe that's just
So,
it.
yeah.
Because when I see these trees that haven't been pruned for a really long time, it seems like they're short. You know,
Yeah.
the deciduous. I know the apical dominance thing with conifers, but
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true, because
yeah.
if you are pruning to create one central leader and have your tree grow up, then yeah, you're taking away that energy that would have gone to side
Right.
branches, so,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it would encourage it
Huh.
to seem like it grow up taller, yeah.
thanks.
I read an interesting thing the other day. They were talking about, because when you have codominant stems and you have to worry about that narrow crotch
Mhm.
angle and the bark rolling in. And what they said is even more important than that included bark is the ratio of the size of the codominants. So like if you have two codominants that are the same size, it's way more of a structural issue than if you have two codominants where one's a lot smaller. So, and that's why a lot of the times we do that reduction on the one codominant, just because it slows that one down, reduces that ratio
Oh, then
between
you
the
can-
two. Yeah. So that was an interesting article.
So she did have tree education.
There
Oh,
you go. I was just
She always
thinking
does.
I'll say something. So I had 5 hours from our meeting last week, because everybody was here. I didn't know if you guys had any other volunteer hours for anything. Oh, poster
Oh, the
contest.
posters, yeah.
I mean, I talked to a writer for about an hour and a half about volunteering
What
Nice,
was
for
that?
the company.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
She was very thrilled about, she felt really bad about her not volunteering, and she was empowered to find her local, tree committee or
Well, good for you.
Arbor Day group and get involved. But,
So what would I call her? Is she like your PR person or how, or your
no, the
newsletter
company,
person?
no, the CEO from the company noticed that I put in volunteer time because the new company pays for volunteer time up to a certain amount of hours, and asked me to, they've got a writer that they staff for their quarterly Tribune
Got
for
it.
the company, and
That's right. I remember you saying
That's
that.
in minutes.
had her call me and whatever else, but I guess you could add that, maybe, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think I got Commissioner Cummings, if there are any.
volunteer hours.
It's just the volunteer
Yeah.
hours.
Anybody?
Okay,
May 7th,
meeting's adjourned.
right after. Okay, before we all start
Oh.
talking freely, let me disconnect.
May 7th.